Most companies are failing at SEO because they prioritize tools and budgets over the only thing that matters here. It's human and machine intent. After 20 years in this industry, 7,000 first-page keyword rankings, millions of dollars have generated for clients over the last couple of years, I have identified or seen a fundamental shift in really how SEO is moving here. This is not a tutorial based on tactics. This video is a strategic framework for the next era of search. Stop optimizing for keywords. Start optimizing for the solution, for the intent of the search. Google no longer matches just streams of text. It matches the user's objective. Service versus information. A search for a criminal lawyer in New York signals a need for a representation. Writing a 2,500 blog post or legal history does not satisfy the intent. A law firm or a criminal lawyer in New York does. Tool-based intent. A search for calorie counter requires a functional tool. If you have an article instead of a tool, you're not going to rank here. So you don't need some 3,000 word blog post for how to count calories. You need an actual tool that is a calorie counter. So analyze the search results here. If you need to really understand or figure this out, or you are confused, well, just analyze the existing results to really try to figure out the type of content that needs to be ranked. So let's say you're searching for best mattresses for couples of 2026, and you see a bunch of listicles that the user is researching. So you need to either write your own listicle or get listed on other listicles. If you search for firm mattresses for couples, and you see a bunch of collection pages or product pages, then the user is ready to purchase. So get ready to try to optimize your product page or your collection page for that keyword here. So right now, first thing you really want to think about in the next new era of research is the intent of the keyword. Make sure that you're aligning your SEO strategy or your page or your site for the intent of the search, the intent of the keyword here. The next shift that you need to think about is LLM visibility or AI visibility. Right now, there is a massive change in user search behavior. No longer are people just simply going into Google and typing in some search query and then looking for whatever results or looking through web pages here, right? They're not just clicking on links anymore. They're not just clicking through websites. They're starting their search in Gemini or ChatGPT or Claude, or they're typing in Google and they see the AI overview, or they're just typing their question in Google and relying on the AI overview. And if you're not visible in these models or these LLMs, or if you're not optimized for AI search, you're pretty much invisible to a huge segment of your audience. And truthfully, this is the direction of search here. There's a reason why AI mode is, Google's really putting a lot of effort into AI mode and our Gemini right now here, right? Because they already know that user search behavior is changing. And if you're not optimizing for visibility or being visible in these AIs, you're going to be behind very soon. A good way to think about this is traditional SEO is optimized for getting clicks. Optimizing for AI or LLMs is for extraction. Essentially, you want to make it easy for the AIs to extract information from your page here, right? So keep your content skimmable. Use clear bullet points to structure formats. Answer the question or the intent at the beginning of the page here. Use tables, use comparison formats if possible. Plenty of FAQs at the bottom here. Essentially, you just want to make it as easy as possible for the AI to quickly understand what your page or your content is about. This shift here could require many video series on its own. But for now, the shift that you want to think about is being visible for LLMs and being visible for AIs, and thinking about how to do that here. And the quick framework is, how do I make my page easier for AIs to skim and understand? The third shift is entity building. I recently went to an SEO conference here, SEO Mastery Summit, which happens every year in Vietnam. If you're interested, let me know. I can connect you with the owner. But anyhow, I just recently got back from an SEO conference, and the one takeaway that I got, all the big name SEO guys, all the major speakers, they weren't focusing on how to optimize your page or how many words your content should have, or these little typical SEO tactics that some of us always focus too much on. What they were focused on is entity building, or how to influence a knowledge graph. Google has moved beyond just ranking websites. Again, user search behavior has changed here, and they're not getting information from just websites anymore. They're getting information from a variety of different sources here. So you need to build your entire online presence, your entire online entity, if you want to have success in SEO and success in LLMs, and the LLMs are having AI visibility here. And a big way to do that is to influence Google's knowledge graph. Google's knowledge graph is how it organizes and understands relationships between words, brands, people, and concepts. For example, how does Google know if when you're referring to Apple, you're talking about the fruit, or the brand here? Well, it's going to look at the context surrounding that word. It's going to look at the page and site where that word is featured. And then it's going to look at the people or the sites linking to that page here, right? So it kind of looks at the whole picture here, right? And how do you influence the knowledge graph for whatever keyword or whatever niche or whatever industry you want to focus on here, right? So the first thing is to think about first LLM visibility and first how to make your web page, your website fit into this knowledge graph. And then the next thing here is to think about building your online presence via your social channels or Reddit, YouTube, or being listed on other authority sites here, right? So for your branded searches, for example, you would want to have your web page ranking and then maybe your Facebook or your X profile ranking, right? If someone is searching for, let's say you're a mattress brand and they're searching for best mattresses for couples in 2026, then you want to get listed on, New York Times best mattresses 2026 or CNET's reviews of best mattresses 2026, etc. Essentially listicles or other authority sites here. Ultimately, really what you want to do here is you want to build your entire entity. You want to focus on having visibility on multiple authority sources, right? Facebook or social platforms, Reddit again, medium.com, Quora here. Build your entire entity, right? Focus on building your entire online presence here, right? That is the third shift, is really focusing on your efforts, not on just your website, but outside your website here, right? And this is where all the big SEO are really focusing on, is how to figure out how to influence these other things outside of your website here, right? Hint, how can you rank for multiple listings for the same keyword? How can you rank your website and other pages that you own for that keyword here? That's the framework you want to think about. So anyways, in closing here, the shift is clear. You want to move from just tactics to thinking about strategies here, right? And first, you want to think about 1, satisfying the intent. 2, ensuring that you're visible for LLMs or optimizing for AI visibility. And then 3, build your entity or your whole online presence. How do you influence the Google Knowledge Graph here? Focusing on these 3 things here is going to ensure that you're ready for 2026 and beyond for both SEO, AEO, AIO, GEO, or whatever you want to call it, ensuring that you're visible online.